What's up, everybody? Back with another episode of the Talking NASCAR podcast. This is episode number 22. Back with Hitmaster again in the control room.
Yes, I'm getting stuff ready. I have stuff all set up. That and also my room's a mess. And I
Hey, looks good. So, as time of this going up, Clash only 2 days away. It's pretty crazy. Feels like we just started the off season, but Clash is only 2 days away. We're gonna talk about the Clash at the end, preview it. We got a lot of other things to talk about. Of course, the 24 Hours of Daytona happened. We'll talk about that. As one of the Crown Jewel races, some other silly season stuff. A bunch of big rules changes that NASCAR released came out within the last couple of days. Some that we talked about previously, some that are new. So we'll touch on those throughout and a few other things as well. So should be good. A lot of information about the Clash we'll talk about as well that they've been releasing over the last week or two. Performers and celebrities are all going to be there. So we'll talk about all that. So first off, this was announced and then re-announced for some reason. Riley Herbst has been signed to run the 15 car for only the super speedway races. All super speedway races during the 15 for Rick Ware in the Cup Series. So that was announced. Tyler Reddick will run six races for the 24 car in the Xfinity Series for Stewart Haas Racing this year. Get some good experience down there. And here's okay. So I guess I'll save all the Clash news for the end because we're going to preview the Clash. There's a lot of big stuff that came out about it. Excuse me a second. There we go. Okay. Alright. So it was announced that a couple crew chief announcements. Todd Gordon will be the crew chief for Jimmy Johnson during his Cup Series stint this year. And Dave Elenz, I think that's how you pronounce it, Elenz, I don't know, will be the new crew chief for Eric Jones this year as well. So a couple changes for the what the fuck I don't even remember what the new name is called. Legacy Racing Group or whatever the fuck it is. God,
I'm still going to call it Petty because Petty is just...
Petty sounds cooler, and it's also... Legacy Motor Group is so stupid. So here's one of the first big rule changes that came out. Drivers now must wear flame-resistant underwear. Now, apparently, this is... So it's not really like big news that it's a requirement that drivers must wear like flame-resistant clothing while racing on their fire suits and whatnot. It just seems kind of weird that the underwear was more specified this time around. I don't know why, but apparently it's not that big a deal. I guess they can just change it out. It's whatever. I feel like it's weird that they had to announce it. Oh, it's kind of weird. Ooh, yeah, so this, Hitmaster, you're going to the Chicago Street Course, this summer.
Mm-hmm.
Well, they released a big concert lineup for the race. Shit, I forgot where it is. What the fuck? What the fuck is this? I don't want this shit. It's a video. They released a huge like concert lineup full of bands. I didn't write them down. Shit. Concert lineup. Hold on. Hold on. I promise I didn't do this. Here we go. From Fox 32 Chicago. Probably this won't be a video, right? It is a video. Why? Is it always a video? Fine, we'll watch the video.
The Mentos gum bottle is recyclable.
Fuck the Mentos ad.
Less painful. More wallpaperable. And more shreddable. Mentos Pure Fresh Gum. Yes to fresh.
Alright.
These are fresh.
Engines, a major concert lineup has just been announced for the inaugural NASCAR Chicago Street Race.
It's nice to think about this happening this summer right now, isn't it? In addition to cars racing 200 miles per hour down DuSable Lakeshore Drive,
They will not be racing 200 miles an hour. Stupid.
From country to electronic dance music.
And our own Corey McFerrin is on assignment tonight and joins us now with more on this big announcement.
That's right, guys. I'm at the University Club on Michigan Avenue downtown. Big event tonight to talk about NASCAR coming to Chicago, a road race in the city, the likes of which they've never put on before. Here to talk about it, Julie Giese. She is the
How many people need to talk about singers? Like 4 people.
The, Chicago NASCAR road course. And Julie, it's good to see you. And first off, congratulations on the announcement today. Tell us more about what we can expect July 1st and 2nd. You promised entertainment.
No, screw you. You won't talk.
We definitely did. I mean, we really want this to be a 2-day racing and music festival. So today we were pleased to announce that we have the Chainsmokers, Black Crowes, Miranda Lambert, and Charlie Crockett that will all be headlining that weekend.
Oh, yeah,
in
I
addition
forgot.
to 2 NASCAR races, one on Saturday and one on Sunday.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I forgot. Okay, I should remember that. Chainsmokers, Miranda Lambert, 2 big ones. Country. They're doing DJs and shit. This might be worth checking out while you're down there.
I'm pretty sure me and my friends are gonna want to check out everything before they leave.
Oh, you totally should. It's such a big event.
And I found out that Chase Elliott's driving a special car for both Street Course and Tour Bristol, so I get to see both of them.
Yeah, that's gonna be a lot of fun. It's gonna be really exciting. Alright, sorry, but I pulled up the topic list again. Alright, here we go. So, it was signed, originally signed that, never heard of Cabo Wabo Tequila? Well, they're an official partner of NASCAR now. NASCAR's been mostly a beer, like if there's an alcoholic drink sponsoring it, it's most likely going to be beer, then Coors Light, Budweiser, that kind of stuff. Busch. But no, now they got tequila online, so not a big
Tequila. Dun.
It's not my cup of tea, but you know, some people it might be. Might attract new audience. Other sponsor announcement: Ferris Mowers will sponsor Ty Dillon during his Cup Series stint this year. And Xfinity Cup and Xfinity stints. It's a good sponsorship there. Completely overrated driver, but you know, everybody needs a little bit of money. Big thing that came out. SHR signed Chase Briscoe to a multi-year extension. Now, thoughts on this one? I'm not. It'll probably work out fine, but I don't know. Did he really prove himself to deserve that?
My eyes, he didn't. Also, the way you ate that Pringle was like the actual noise that the Pringles commercial does.
Look,
I think it was a Pringle.
I was about to get ready to eat lunch, and then you said, "All right, let's do this." And so then I was like, "Fuck!" And I grabbed a couple snacks
You're
and
like,
just
"What?"
ran down here.
Yeah, I was gonna get some Uber Eats before I got on here, but I'll wait.
I don't know. I just feel like Chase Briscoe. He's done. He won some race. He's won a race. He's been somewhat competitive. I don't know. It just doesn't feel like it's time to make that move yet. But I think usually what we see, and not just NASCAR, but other sports, we see that a lot of these big multi-year extensions are as a response to rumors or possibility that the coach or the player or the driver or whoever will go somewhere else immediately because it's the industry that they want to go fast and they want to make a lot of money and go and go.
Want to go fast.
So I think that's probably what this is in response to. I don't know who was looking to sign Chase Briscoe, but apparently we'll never know now because he signed with SHR again. Another sponsor announcement: Solomon Plumbing will sponsor Brad Keselowski for 4 races in the Cup Series this year. And some other really wacky news. I'm going to butcher this name. Riayum. I don't fucking know how you pronounce it. The Riayum brothers. Their race shop caught fire. Nobody died, but 3 people were injured. But they are okay, thankfully, or will be okay. It reminds me of I think it was 2015 when the Levine family racing shop caught fire, and like six of their primary cars were like completely lost, or something like that. It didn't go over the extent of the damages like to the cars, but it seems like that was a pretty severe situation. But thankfully, everyone's okay, or at least will be okay, or nobody died or whatever. So that's good in that regard. So there were big rumors going around a lot through the off season that Helio Castroneves might attempt to run the Daytona 500. Well, he came out and said that is not happening. He will not be running the Daytona 500. So you can throw those rumors off the table. Okay. Now we got some big one. Big fun news here. Ready for this? The Indy Oval is coming back. Planning on coming back.
Good.
It's not confirmed that it will, but there are plans and attempts being made for it to return onto the Cup schedule. I'm not personally a big fan. I think the Indy road course didn't work out that great. It worked out okay. It didn't work out great. The oval sucked, especially, but I think maybe that's more in response to the fact that like last year with the new car, Pocono was great again. They reconfigured Atlanta to hell, but that was great again too. And some other tracks that really weren't that great were good again, especially like the big tracks, but not restrictor plate ones. But I guess none of them are really restrictor plate tracks anymore. But you know what I mean. Not in Daytona and Talladega, big tracks. So that's probably what this is. They're going to give it a second chance because they think, okay, maybe the racing can be good again. Personally, I still think it's not the greatest move. It's really hard to sell a big track like that when there's so much expenses, and I think it's better just to axe it and put a different track on the schedule or give another track that's good a second date again, like Michigan. Hello.
Wink, wink, nudge, nudge.
But it's not been confirmed that it is coming back, but it looks like it might. Not this year, obviously, but probably next year, 2024. It'll be interesting to follow. Another Clash piece that we will talk about at the end. So Taylor Gray is making their debut in the Truck Series this year. However, because of the minimum age requirement to drive in NASCAR, which I think is, I don't remember exactly what it is, Taylor Gray cannot run the first 3 races of the season due to that. However, they will still be eligible for the playoffs. That was announced, even though missing the first 3 races. And the Clash news will be...
if he was to win the other races.
Yeah, he still have to work his way in, but will still be eligible, which is pretty good. Okay, so here's a big one. Denny Hamlin came out. This was, I don't know, a while back. He claims that he has been secretly fined by NASCAR. Now, I'm going to pull up this article. This is kind of skeptical.
Denny Hamlin, he thinks every time he gets... and then he cries about it.
Let me see if I can find this article, because I read this a couple days ago. Not that. News. Here we go. What the fuck is this? Okay. Well, I can't find the article. It's not on here anymore. He was.
Well, I know one thing.
Weird. And I didn't see anything about that. But he claimed that he was secretly fined because of some, like, last year, a year before, like, for just unnecessary, like, penalties or, like, some, like, disturbing the race or something like that. And that, like, it never was, like NASCAR never announced, like, usually, you know, when somebody has, like, an infraction of, like, a penalty, like, they lose a tire or they cheat or whatever the fuck, like, NASCAR will announce what the penalty is. But with Denny Hamlin's, there wasn't any points fine or it was just a money fine. They didn't do that, and he's pretty mad about that. I mean, it said directly that was from him. I can't find the article, so it might not be true. However, big stuff.
Right.
I don't know. I can find
Friend hates Denny Hamlin with a passion.
I'm not a big fan of him, but to be secretly fined is kind of like, why? I don't know.
Yeah.
Kind of a little bullcrap to me. All right, so we'll talk. That's one of the 3 crown jewels, or the triple crown of motorsports. It includes the Indy 500, the Monaco Grand Prix, and the 24 Hours of Daytona for Le Mans series. Well, the 24 Hours of Daytona just happened this past weekend. I don't know if you watched any of it. Did you, the Master?
I did not, because I was mostly at work.
I watched a little bit of it. Now, if you don't know what that, it's pretty self-explanatory what the 24 Hours of Daytona is. They race around the Daytona road course. In the Le Mans series is like a special, like, sports car series, whatnot. They race a lot of road courses around the world, and they race around the Daytona road course for 24 hours. And then it's kind of complicated because there's, like, certain classes of manufacturers, and they have their own standings on top of, like, the overall standings, but there's still, like, an overall winner, but they don't classify it as that. It's really weird how it works. It was a little hard to watch. There weren't 24 hours is around the road course. There really weren't that many cautions for what you think for that long of racing. And a lot of them weren't I did see one of the bigger crashes. Somebody hit the inside wall. The brakes failed or whatever. They spun out in the backstretch of Daytona, but the racing is more clean than you'd expect in, like, even like IndyCar or whatever. NASCAR especially. Even though they're not like open wheel cars, they damage pretty easily and whatnot. But the reason why I talk about this is because a lot of NASCAR drivers do usually run this event. We saw Dale Sr. and Dale Jr. run it just a few weeks before Dale died in 2001. Jimmy Johnson has run it. Jeff Gordon was rumored to run the 24 Hours of Daytona. He did not. But Kyle Larson ran it, I think. Alex Bowman's done it. And a few others. Jimmy Johnson did not do it this year. I don't know who from NASCAR did it this year. Whoever it was, they weren't very competitive because they weren't talking about them on TV. But I know, like, what's his name? Tony Kanaan. He's a pretty big name when it comes to this race. He always runs pretty well. Scott Pruitt, remember him? He ran some road course races in NASCAR long ago. But he's one of the bigger names that won races, though. So the finish, I turned away from the finish to watch the MSU basketball game, which was a huge mistake.
Yep.
However, I missed the photo finish. Let's see where. Let's pull this up. I forgot the person's name. Oh, that's just pictures. Fuck you. Who won? I forgot who fucking won. You get a 4-day admission, but it's a huge event. Shit. News. Shit. Let's see how this is at. It was a photo finish. That's basically all I'm going to say. It's like the number 60 Acura ARX-06, fielded by Meyer Shank Racing. But Elio Castroneves and Simon Pagenaud were a part of that as well from the IndyCar series. A lot of IndyCar drivers do this event. But yeah, congratulations to the winner. It was a photo finish, crazy finish, which comes down to it. But overall, like, watching the whole thing, it's hard to watch the whole thing because there really aren't that many cautions. Most of the cautions are for motor failures or like occasionally a single car incident, but not really that much. But it's a cool event. I would like to go sometime, but I would definitely not want to stay at Daytona International Speedway for over 24 hours. I think that would be a lot, but you know. I mean, I could do it. I could do it. I could do it. If it wasn't like $6,000 a ticket. I don't know what the tickets are, but it might be $6,000 a ticket. I don't know. But one day, not today, but one day. Some more Clash news we'll talk about. Speaking of Le Mans, now I thought this was about the 24 Hours of Daytona, so I was going to include it when we talked about the 24 Hours of Daytona. It's not. It's a completely different thing, though. It's from the same racing series, the Le Mans series. So the 56, it's like a Hendrick project car, like a next-gen car, but it's going to be running in the Le Mans series, driven by Jenson Button, Mike Rockenfeller, and Jimmy Johnson. And they're going to be running it in France, which I think that French race, I think it's the middle of March is when that is. But they're going to be running that car together during that race, which is really cool to do, because a lot of the Le Mans cars, it's going to be different than the next-gen car because they have to have headlights, I think, and because they run at night, and then they run, like, road courses at night and stuff. So it's definitely going to be interesting to see. I hope they can win. I think that'd be a lot of really cool. That was pretty big news that came out recently. All right, here's some big... go ahead.
Go ahead. I don't know if you were about to say something. I know that they banned Ross Chastain's move that he did at Martinsville.
Yeah, we're going to get some big news things. Yep. What they call the Hail Melon. Weird. Not...
And I looked like... They're like, oh, some people were upset. I was like, yeah, people are upset because they didn't think of that idea.
Mm-hmm. Yep. So what NASCAR's calling the Hail Melon, what was the Ross Chastain wall ride move at Martinsville, banned. And I think that's stupid. I think that's incredibly stupid that they're banning it, because it was clever, it was excellent, it didn't hurt anybody, and it was exciting to watch. I mean, hell, when's the last time NASCAR got on fucking Sports Center? Like, what the fuck, top 10 Sports Center moments? When the fuck the last time they got on that? We did with that, though. I don't know, you think it's stupid?
Yes, very. Because they're only banning it because other people didn't like it. And I'm just like, yeah, They didn't like it because they didn't think of the idea. That and some people are just Ross Chastain haters.
That was the biggest of the news. Some other things that we didn't talk about before that came up: the points requirement for the playoffs is no more. If you remember, so the new playoff system, you win and you're in. However, prior to this year, you had to be at least 30th in points or better. That really didn't apply to many situations. It did apply in 2016 with Chris Buescher, but he was able to get in. It also applied in 2016 with Tony Stewart because he missed some races. But he was able to work his way in. Kyle Busch in 2015, when he missed some races, that was in effect. However, that is no more. You can win one race, sit out the rest of the regular season, and still be in the playoffs now. Actually, probably not. I don't know how the logistics of it actually work, but there is no more actual points requirement. So, here's a funny story. A few nights ago, a group of idiots got in their cars, drove to downtown Charlotte by the NASCAR Hall of Fame, and did burnouts in an intersection near the track, the Hall of Fame. And police had to break it up. I think that's pretty funny. It's so annoying. I hate that. I'm going to go off a little tangent here. Anybody who goes out at like 1 in the morning with your jacked up illegal car with like a 50-pound muffler and decides to floor it down a fucking residential road when people's windows are fucking down in the middle of summer, fuck you. That's what I say to you. Fuck you. Okay? Don't jack up a fucking car just to have it loud to drive in the middle of the fucking night when you think the police are asleep. Newsflash, they're not asleep. I see your asses on social media getting pulled over every fucking day. Alright? So loud, so annoying, and you speed and you do it during the day too. Cars are just loud. You erratically drive. You're an idiot. I don't know how you get your driver's license. Okay,
Guys, at this point, he's not complaining about the thing that happened at Charlotte. He's complaining about the entire thing that happens here.
Those people just really get on my nerves.
People are idiots.
All right. So there's a band. Okay, back to concert news. Not about the Chicago Street Course, but a band called Paramley. Ramley. I don't know if that's how you actually pronounce it. They're gonna do a pre-race concert at Atlanta. It didn't say which one it was. I'm presuming it's gonna be the March race. But that'll be fun to look forward to if you're going to Atlanta. Check them out. Are you there? More news. Couple other big news things. The choose rule. You guys know what the quote unquote choose cone. There's not a physical cone on the track, but you know the line on the track. Choose your own. That is now also going into effect for dirt racing and super speedway racing, starting this year. And here's a big one. The Geico restart zone. That is being expanded by 25% in each direction. So it's 50% larger, 25% in each direction at all tracks. That's a pretty big expansion for the restart zone, which is already arguably pretty large, I would say. And I think that will be implementing a huge new piece of strategy to what to do. And maybe burn some people on, restarts, especially early in the season when people are getting adapted to it. I think that some drivers are going to take huge advantage of that.
I feel like that's what's going to happen at Daytona. At least one person is going to mess up and get penalized for that.
Well, if it's bigger, since it's getting bigger, not smaller, I feel like people won't get penalized. But I feel like somebody's gonna know that it's there, and they're gonna take off, and everybody else is gonna fucking forget that it's larger, and this guy's gonna take off. But Daytona, he's gonna get whoever takes off is gonna get eaten up like crap because it's a drafting shit. But like even coming up on Sunday at the Clash, like that's gonna be interesting to see what they do, or at like Las Vegas or some shit. It might be interesting early in the season.
Missed the Clash. I just realized.
We got one more story, and then we'll talk. One more news piece, and then we will talk about everything about the Clash. So NASCAR driver Max Gutierrez and his brother were involved in a fatal car accident in Mexico. Max did not die, but his brother did. He was only 17. So that was a car accident. They were driving a Porsche, and they were hit by an F-150. So that was sad to hear. I actually got this morning.
Words.
Yeah, rest in peace. All right. Unless you got any other news pieces, anything you want to talk about, we'll jump into the Clash stuff because there's a lot of shit to talk about.
The only news I had was the Ross Chastain situation.
All right. So the Clash is coming up on Sunday. They're running it at 8 o'clock local Eastern time. I think that's going to be a huge upgrade over it being like a day race. Because, quarter mile track racing, you expect it to be under the lights. It's Friday night short track or Saturday night short track racing. Sunday night, but, it's the same thing. So I think that'll be good as far as more goodness there. But there's a lot of celebrities that will be there. So we'll go over all of them. Let's see. Who's the first one that I was able to find? Oh, yeah. Any Charli D'Amelio fans out there will know that her and her family went to the Clash last year. Pretty much spent the whole day with Kyle Busch. And got pretty popular for that. Well, they didn't get popular because of that, but exposed to a new medium, I should say, because I don't think a lot of D'Amelio fans out there watch or even know about NASCAR, but they do now because they went there. But that opened up a gateway for Dixie. She's going to perform at the Clash Sunday. So, quite honestly, I think that family itself is just the knockoff Kardashians. They're overrated as fuck. Charli can dance, but that's not what she's known for. She's known for shaking her ass on TikTok to a bunch of perverts. And then her sister got popular because she's related to the family. That's the only reason why she's popular. She's probably is. I mean, she might be a good singer. I don't know. I've never heard her sing. She might very well be. She might have talent. I don't know. I guess she get a chance to prove herself on a national stage.
Might be turning into the Bella Porch of singing. Well, who knows? It's just so scary.
Yeah, so that will be fun. Also, the DJ group Cheat Codes. I don't know why you call yourself that, but they will be DJing the Clash. So look forward to that if you're going. And the Grand Marshal for the Clash will be none other than Rob Lowe. You know who that is. You know who Rob Lowe is? He's been around the block a couple times.
Heard of his name.
So, I think that's all the celebrities. But there's that we know at least. I'm sure there's going to be several more that are actually there and can, we'll find out about. Because last year it was just full of celebrities. Same thing. But the big piece about the Clash that was announced was that there's going to be an Olympic-style podium finish system for the Clash. So the top 3 finishers will get medals, and they'll be recognized and whatever. I don't know what that and their implications for prize money or whatever. I don't exactly know why they're trying this. Maybe because the
I
U.S.
think-
is going to host the Olympics soon. I don't know.
I think it's also because of the fact that the place is called the LA Coliseum. So I mean, and they've had Olympic stuff there before, and it's like, why not?
I do think it's. I'm not necessarily against it. I think it's gonna be pretty cool. Especially like Indy and IndyCar F. I think I don't know if IndyCar does it. F1 definitely does it, where they have like podium style finishes. I don't know if I'd want to see this happen for points races, but I think for exhibition races, why not? You know, it might as well. It's a good. The Clash is a good place for that to be tried and to be had. So hopefully that will be.
They might do it at North Wilkesboro too.
Maybe if it works at the Clash and people like it, they might do it. I mean, it's not really that much of a like much work to do it. You just gotta have a podium, make some medals, and whatever the fuck. So they could totally do that. So I'm interested to see how that's gonna work. Though I'm gonna see. I'm excited for that. That's everything that I had on the list. We gotta talk more about the Clash. I don't know. I think I'm gonna read off the. I'm gonna talk about some other drivers who have entered and who's actually gonna be racing in it this year, and we'll. Ross Chastain will be in it. Austin Cindric, Austin Dillon, Kevin Harvick. In his final Clash, Kyle Larson, Brad Keselowski driving. He's got the whole King's Hawaiian car. Yes, I love that paint scheme. Corey LaJoie, I guess Kyle Busch. Kyle Busch will have the Bet MGM car. Remember, he's going to the number 8. So that's going to be a little hard to figure to remember early on. Chase Elliott, Eric Almirola, Denny Hamlin, Ryan Blaney, Chase Briscoe, J.J. Yeley, A.J. Allmendinger, Chris Buescher, Martin Truex, Christopher Bell running the Interstate Batteries car. That's going to be really hard to distinguish because the Interstate Batteries always been with the 18. Obviously, that can't be this year. Harrison Burton, Joey Logano.
Ain't no 18 this year. I just realized.
No, there won't be an 18 this year. I'm sure it'll be back though. It's not going to be for this year, but probably next year they'll bring it back in some way. Joey Logano, defending champion, Bubba Wallace, William Byron, Justin Haley, Michael McDowell, Todd Gilliland, Ryan Preece in the 41. That's also going to be a little weird to get used to, but I'll get it. Noah Gragson in the 42. Eric Jones, Tyler Reddick in the 45. That's definitely going to be hard to get used to. Ricky Stenhouse driving a beautiful Velveeta-looking car. Alex Bowman running... Oh, that's a nice Ally paint scheme for Alex Bowman. Cody Ware, Ty Dillon, BJ McLeod, and Daniel Suarez is running a nice paint scheme as well.
I don't know if you saw Chase Elliott's car that he's driving this week, but for the street course, all that. But it's... hold on. I need to get this freaking thing off. There we go. It's like...
Ooh, that's nice.
Got that, and then... That's something I want to get a die cast of. You set it right next to my other Chase Elliott car.
When's he running that? He's not running it Sunday.
He's running it, what I hear, it's called Night Owl 2.
Ooh, that's a nice name.
It's at the honor of the 40th anniversary stuff. I can't find it. I know one of them Chicago Street Course and Bristol Dirt.
All
I
right.
just can't think of the other one. I have to look at his Twitter. or Hooters Twitters, which.
By the way, there are the medals that will be awarded to the podium finishers. Those look pretty damn cool, to be honest. Other things that I should know about the Clash. So, of course, there's all the heats and other stuff. 26 drivers will be locked in through the heat and last chance qualifying races. The 27th spot is going to be reserved for the driver who finished highest in the points last season, who did not already lock up a spot. The 27 drivers in the field will be 4 more than last year's field, which included 23 drivers. That is something interesting to know there. There'll be 4 heat races, 25 laps each, and then 2 last chance qualifying races, which will each be 50 laps, and then the main event starting at 8 o'clock.
I did find what tracks he will be racing this car at. Like I said, Bristol, Durham, Chicago. But the last one is Homestead.
Ooh. It would look good at night. It would look good at night. So I hope he does it at night.
It will look good at Bristol, Durham. I know that for sure. Because that's the night race that I think I'm going to.
Is it at night? I think it's at night.
I think it's night. Hold on, I'll have to look. But if it is a night race, I want to see it at night, just in the dirt.
It would be cool with it in the dirt and stuff too. I'd have to admit.
Schedule. It's not the schedule. So Daytona, Bristol. You're the night race. It is a night race. Because it starts at 7 p.m.
Nice. You will see it at night in the dirt.
Don't worry, I'll videotape it.
Videotape?
Videotape. I visited it, videotape it.
Here we can take a look at some of the paint schemes that are coming along this for the Clash. I'm gonna scroll down. So there's Chastain's and Cindric's, Austin Dillon's, Harvick's, Larson's. There's the King's Hawaiian car. I love that paint scheme. Corey LaJoy. Kyle Busch's looks pretty good too, I gotta admit. There's Chase Elliott's, the new Napa car. Aaron Marola, Hamlin, Blaney, Briscoe, Daly, Allmendinger, Buescher, Truex. That's going to be hard to get used to.
Yes.
That right there.
Very hard
to get used to. Harrison Burton, Logano, Bubba Wallace, Byron. Byron's car looks cool. I like that one. That's a cool car in my opinion.
I liked the previous one too, the other Raptor one.
Was that the one with the green? Did it have green?
That one was the one with the green and white.
Oh, this one does look like, okay, it's hard to see in my camera. It has like a lime green, but only a little bit. It's really hard to see on my phone, but that is, fuck. Oh yeah, fuck. Oh yeah, Justin Haley, and then Noah Gragson. No, Mike McDowell, Todd Gilliland, Ryan Preece, then Noah Gragson. Eric Jones, that one looks pretty cool. I like Tyler Reddick's as well. That's gonna be a good one. Ricky Stenhouse's, I love that one too. Alex Bowman's, I love that one too. What the fuck? Why won't you scroll? There we go. Cody Ware, love that one too. Later focus, love that one too. Josh Bilicki, Ty Dillon, and then B.J. McLeod, and then Daniel Suarez. I like Suarez's too. lot of good paint scheme lineups for the weekend. It's gonna be great. So, but quite be honest, how do we think? What are your thoughts on this like celebrity lineup? And first off, do you like it?
It's okay. I'm happy with the Wiz Khalifa situation, just because I like listening to him or listening to his music. But I mean, yeah, it looks like a good lineup. Very good lineup.
Of course, we don't give a fuck about the concert lineup. We want to see a good race.
Right.
What was the last race? November 6th. So that's when, what, 1, 2, about 3 months. A little over 3 months. Today, well, tomorrow, no, it'll be about 3 months. How do we think this race is going to go? Second year of the next-gen car, second year of the Clash at the Coliseum, more cars in the heats, not in the heat, the main field. How are we thinking this one's going to go?
I feel like Kyle Busch is going to come out strong. He's going to fight hard. I don't want to say he's going to win the race, but he'll come close with his new RCR team. Yeah, it won't be like Joe Gibbs, but I think everyone's just going to be watching what Kyle Busch does for the first race.
I think there will be a lot of eyes on him for sure. I think there's going to be a lot of eyes on Joey Logano. I think there's going to be a lot of eyes on a lot of the other new teams and whatnot.
I know the whole entire season they're going to look at Joey Logano because they're going to say, is he going to go back-to-back? Is he going to go back-to-back? No. But no,
don't
he's
say
not.
Don't say no because he'll do it. You doubt Logano, he does shit. You can't doubt the guy.
I just realized we didn't talk about Joey Logano having a chance at all last year. At all during the playoffs in the Final Four. Look what happened.
Personally, that's what he does, right? That's what he does. Now, both of his championships have been where somebody has been the most dominant guy all season, falters late, and Logano picks up the slack and wins the whole thing. In 2018, there was the whole thing with the big three, and Harvick and Kyle Busch and Martin Truex. Logano beat them all. Last year, Chase Elliott was dominating the season, faltered in the playoffs. Logano had a strong finish to the season, won the whole thing. And so it's hard to go back to back with this whole format and whatnot, especially in back to back in the Clash. Being a quarter-mile racetrack, I do expect this to be a lot of close quarter racing. I think last year's Clash didn't necessarily live up to the hype that it probably could have because of the fact there was a new car, because of the fact that it was a new track. Everybody played a little conservative and whatever. I think everybody's going to be a little bit more in the game, a little bit more aggressive, and I think we're going to see some tight racing. Especially in that heat. Why do I say heat? In the main. And especially in those last chance ones, too. It should be pretty exciting. I'm expecting a lot of bumping and banging and everything. There's a lot of drivers that I think really have to redeem themselves. We saw Justin Haley have a good run at the Clash until he wrecked. We saw Kyle Busch run good. We saw Joey Logano win it. We saw Kurt Busch. Well, Kurt Busch isn't running this year. But he did pretty good in the event last year. What will Kevin Harvick do? He won, when it was still called the Budweiser Shootout, he won 2 times, I believe, twice. So maybe he'll win another one to cement the start of his retirement tour. There's going to be a lot of eyes on that, too. And it should be, I think it'll be a decent race. I still stand by the fact that I don't think that the LA Coliseum is a good place for racing. I just don't think it's gonna be that good. It's, you'd be different if you put it on a rail quarter-mile track that actually does other races. Hell, send that shit to Bowman Gray. You put 27 next-gen cars on Bowman Gray, you're gonna get a fucking... That's gonna be the fucking best race of the season. I don't care who wins. I don't care if fucking Joey Logano fucking wins that race by 3 laps. If there's a lot of wrecks and there's a fights, makes it beautiful, okay? But no, the LA Coliseum, the track's a little too wide to do that. They don't go as fast, but I think it'd still be a good one. I think, at least. So it's hard to predict. Like, I don't want to predict the heats and stuff because they're not going to be determined until qualifying is done, which will be tomorrow night at the time this is coming out. It's pretty weird because it used to be like in the All-Star race, the drivers are locked in based on early, and then a couple race their way in. So it's hard to predict. But I guess we still got to make our prediction though. Who do we think is going to win this race?
William Byron.
Picking William Byron.
And I'm not only saying that because he's a Hendrick driver and he drives my favorite number that Jeff Gordon drove. I'm not saying it because of that. I think that William Byron, after last year battling with Joey Logano at Darlington, is going to almost have the exact same thing happen. Joey Logano, William Byron, and William Byron's going to come back with payback from last year.
Be a good place to put the bumper on, I think. Personally, I think he's saving that for a points race so that it has more implication. But he could totally do it here too, and I would not be surprised. It's hard for me to see who do I pick. You know what? I'm going to go out of left field, and I'm going to pick Justin Haley to win this race. You know why? He did so good last year. He wrecked. But I think he's not going to wreck this year. He's going to win the thing. He's going to do one. He can't do the chat. What if he does? Okay. So I guess, what if he does the Chastain? What if the Hail Melon comes back? What if somebody does it at like this track? What do they do? Get the win revoked? Do they what? Like they have to pay the money? Like what? What is the penalty for that? I gotta look.
It's fine. If I'm not mistaken.
Let's go on Polygon's website and see what this is all about. It does not say what the penalty is going to be. Ooh. Basically, it's going to be a violation of Rule 10.5.2.6.a, which encompasses any violations deemed to compromise the safety of an event. Okay. So, now I kind of want somebody to pull it. I kind of want somebody to pull this move. Because it's only for money. It's not for points. Nobody's going to die in this thing. Okay, you're not going fast enough to do a fucking wall flip into the grandstands or whatever the fuck. I would love to see it happen. That's what I'll say. I'm going Justin Haley, though, because I don't know. The heats and the last chances last year were very unpredictable because that's where a lot of the hits and stuff happened. But the main event was very predictable. Logano and Busch dominated the event. One of those two was going to win it. We knew that. We knew that from the get-go. But I think it's going to be a lot different this year with the under-experienced new car and people more determined, more cars in the field and everything like that. So that's gonna have to do it. So that's gonna do it for this episode, I believe. Talking NASCAR podcast, a little bit of a shorter episode. But I believe we hopefully now will be in a section of weekly episodes again. We kind of sputter between like off and on and during the off season and whatnot. But we should be able to get back to the weekly ones because next week we talk about the Clash. The week after we got the duels and talk about that and the 500, and we're into the regular season. The only weekend that we might not be able to do an episode is Father's Day weekend, because they're off. Are they off for Father's Day? Right? That's their off week. Is Father's Day? I think so. I think that's their off weekend.
So, yeah.
So maybe not then, but we'll probably find some other things to talk about. Of course, Hitmaster is going to the street course and Bristol, so we're gonna have big episodes about that. We will have. I'm gonna say it that way, like Yoda, so I can
especially Michigan too.
We'll talk about Michigan.
I will be going to Michigan as well.
Yeah, I'm going to Michigan too, so we'll have to talk about that and whatever. And then Ann Pomeroy or Brian or whatever, they are going to. They're going to Las Vegas over spring break, so we'll have to have them on to talk about that. I think that was confirmed. I don't remember, but that's happening, so we'll have to ask them about that. They'll be on an episode, and of course, during the episodes, we still have guests on to talk about stuff. We'll just have more to talk about during the episode, so that'll be cool. So if you guys want to be a guest on this podcast, comment down below. We'll get you on. We can get you scheduled and whatnot, and join the Discord and whatnot. And we'll be back next week, and we'll talk about the Clash and start previewing all that kind of stuff. So it should be a lot of fun. So unless you got anything else to add, Hitmaster, and your American flag lugnuts hat.
Out somehow I got this on. You deal matter. You were looking at your phone, and I just
suit up. But yeah, I think that's gonna do it for this podcast episode. It's a little bit smaller, but that's okay. So until next time, we'll see you guys later. Drop your Clash predictions in the comments. By the way, drop them. And goodbye.